Hello, this is the Tailgate Kitchen. I'm Mark. This is the magnificent French Pyrenees, Pyrenees Oriental, eastern end of the Pyrenees. This is Mandy the Sandy Landy, 1971 Land Rover Series 2A. It's a little bit windy up here, I hope you can hear me. We're going to do some cooking on top of a mountain. Something very simple. This is kind of like my pilot episode. I've never done this before. I've come to a quiet spot. I'm kind of hoping nobody goes past and wonders what I'm up to, but here we go. So today I'm just going to make a quick omelette. Goat's cheese omelette. Got my eggs, 3-egg omelette, because 2 eggs is never enough. Got a pan, olive oil, salt, pepper, goat's cheese and a bit of butter. That should be enough, I think. Going to put some heat under the pan. Not exactly level, but I think it'll be okay. So, eggs. Got to stop everything rolling away. It's a little bit tricky because this is my pot for doing them in. Here we go. Now we're talking on cooking on gas. Literally cooking on gas. I've got a little pot down here. I don't want you to think I'm just throwing stuff onto the floor. I've got my little compost bin down here that I'm going to take home and put in our communal village composter. 3 eggs in there. A little bit of shell got in there, don't worry about that. Wipe the hands. Whisk it up. Slightly lower bowl than I was planning, but I didn't remember to bring the bigger one. Such is the challenge with cooking up a mountain. If you forget something, you're going to have to do without it. A bit of pepper, a little bit of salt. Give it another little whisk. Doesn't need much more than that. I can hear the flame getting battered by the wind, so I'm hoping it's not going to affect the cooking too much. This is a camping stove, so you'd like to think that they'd designed it for that. That should be enough. A little bit of olive oil in the pan. Get that working. Now you know as well as I do, you can sort of tell how hot olive oil is getting by how it becomes thinner. But what's always good as well, not only for taste, but also for seeing how hot things are in the pan, you pop a little bit of butter in there. I say a little bit, that's quite a lot. That's all right. We're up a mountain. Let that melt down. And we'll probably wait until that butter is sort of foaming, because I'm going to cook this quite quickly. I do want to get it to the butter foaming level. It's a gorgeous day. If you go up the valley that way, this valley down here, about 20 kilometers, maybe less, you'll find yourself in Spain. We're that close to the border. Now, as I say, I'm going to cook this quite fast. I've been looking at omelette techniques online, and when you first pour it in, temptation is just to pour it in, leave it. But what happens then is the bottom cooks quite quickly and the top stays raw egg. It takes a while to cook, so by the time the top's cooked, the bottom's a bit overdone. So if you treat it when you first throw it in the pan, like, a bit like scrambled eggs, move it around a bit, it starts cooking the egg throughout, and then leave it and you'll get a nice bottom on it. So hopefully we'll get a chance to demonstrate that in a second. This is starting to look a little bit warmer now, so I'm going to put my egg in. The pan is not very level, so I'm going to have to hold it in my hand a little bit. This is going to be a challenge with the mountaintop kitchen. There you go, you see I'm just moving it around with the fork a little bit. Make it like scrambled eggs. I need to make sure there's getting enough heat in the bottom of that pan, otherwise we're just going to have a very lopsided omelette. But that's okay. There you go, just move it around so you're still covering the base, but you're just finding that as you cook, your egg's cooking through. Just fill in a few of those gaps. And that should be actually enough pre-cooking. That's going to be alright. If I leave that on there now, I'm not going to move around too much. I'm going to let that cook. Just going to take the edges off slightly. Like that, beautiful. Get a bit of my fresh goat's cheese. Just going to crumble a few bits of this in there, not too much. I'm going to put all of it in there. We don't want it overly cheesy. Just letting the omelette cook a little bit longer. I'll have a look at the edges. Just going to flip it a little bit. Doesn't matter if you get it halfway or not. I did. And then I'm going to use the underhand technique here, which again saw online, favoured by the French chefs. There we have it. Let's try and stop that sliding off there. A little bit of pepper, a little bit more salt. And there we have a mountaintop omelette, which I'm now going to eat for my lunch. And look at this view. Open her up. So you see, beautifully creamy, but not underdone. Oh yeah. I'm not disappointed with that. I'll see you next time.